opportunity to treat right down the street from my house, but I just trusted my team too much. I didn't want anybody else to handle me. So what I would do is I would go to work, and I would work, let's say, 6 to 2, get in the car, drive an hour to Philadelphia, get my radiation treatment, and come back home. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I would go to work all day, drive to Philly, get my radiation treatment, spend the night in Philadelphia, get up the next morning, have radiation first, and then go to the job. That's what I did for like 6 or 7 weeks. And you all, most of you live in Philadelphia, you know that it's all about 95 traffic and timing. So I did a whole bunch of running and ripping and running on the highway, but I got through it. And when I was almost done, I kept hearing them talking about your skin breakdown. And I'm like, skin breakdown? I don't know what you're talking about. And then they started talking about, I didn't realize that radiation is what, like a 3rd-degree burn. I had no idea. And they talk about it feeling like a sunburn. And I'm like, hello? I've never had a sunburn before. I don't know what you're talking about. But I found out what it was, and my skin broke down. And I'm thinking, but I have a son who's getting ready to graduate from college in South Carolina. I am not missing that. So they said, you know, we'll do what we can do, and we will let you go to the graduation, and then you have to come back and finish your treatment. So I got through that as well. And I serve as an ambassador for the Cancer Treatment Centers of America in Philly, and I'm talking to women across the country at different stages in their journey. And to me, I believe that's part of my diagnosis, is so that I can help somebody else. Because if you didn't know, whatever you're going through is not for your benefit. It's for the next person who's coming up behind you. What you're going through as a challenge, that's to help build your relationship with God. But after you get to the other side of through, you need to go back and help somebody else who's coming up behind you. And nobody understands what it's like unless you've been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. And so that's what I do. I actually stopped working. My job was stressful. And I'm like, I can't fight cancer and fight on this job. So I stopped working, and I got married. And I'm a stay-at-home wife, and I absolutely love it. I do. I was at an event, some type of a meeting, actually it was a breast cancer meeting, and we were doing introductions, and they said, you know, give us your name and tell us what you do for a living. And I said, I'm a stay-at-home wife. And it got around the table, and one of the ladies said, I'm happy for you. She said, but I gotta go to work. She said, I can't stay home. And while I'm home, I had been looking for a job, couldn't find a job. And then it dawned on me, the reason that you don't have a job is because you need to be working for yourself. You need to be sharing this platform of health and wellness. And it's like, okay, God, I got it. And so that's what I'm doing, is I am sharing a message of health and wellness. Again, I just thoroughly enjoy speaking to my LinkedIn Pink sisters. And while I was home, I had an opportunity to give back. So I would take some of my bosom buddies, as I call them, back and forth to chemo treatments and doctor's appointments. And I would hear them talk about how bad they feel, how they don't have energy. But then they would ask me after their appointment to take them to Burger King, to take them to Pizza, was it Little Caesars? And I was watching what they were eating. And my thing is, you're missing the connection. Unfortunately, a lot of people are living to eat instead of eating to live. We need to be using food as our medicine. Now, don't get me wrong, doctors have their place, but we need to be doing what we can to keep our temples intact. And so I'm thinking, this is a message I have to get out to people. And taking care of yourself will help prevent illness. But for me, I was doing all of those things, and I got a diagnosis. But it helped me be strong for my fight, because I already had a foundation in place. When my naturopath and my nutritionist started working with me, a whole lot of things they didn't have to put me on, because I had been taking vitamin D for years. I had been taking this a supplement, so they didn't have to add anything to my supplement regime. But if you are a survivor, you have to continue to take care of yourself after chemo, after radiation, to reduce your risk of recurrence. And that's a message that I don't think enough of my survivor friends know. Because if you knew that there was something that you could do to reduce your risk of recurrence, why wouldn't you do it? It's really about lifestyle change. And as women in particularly, we tend to view ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially in isolation. And we don't see that they are all interconnected.